What just went down in Cleveland feels less like a routine NFL update and more like the opening scene of a political thriller set in shoulder pads. Kevin Stefanski stood behind the podium, poised and confident as ever, but the moment he started talking, the mask began to slip. Beneath the polished coach speak, you could almost hear the gears turning, strategic deflection, vague assurances, and a chilling undertone of control. This wasn't about injury management or tactical prudence. This was about power. Stefanski's press conference was supposed to be simple. Update the media on player status, talk about preparation, and maybe throw in a few optimistic clichés. You didn't need to be a body language expert to see what was happening. Stefanski wasn't uncertain, he was avoiding. This wasn't the hesitance of a coach waiting for medical clearance. It was the calculation of a man who knew exactly what he was hiding. He talked about Shedeur pushing hard in rehab, about taking it day by day, and about seeing how things develop. But all of it was filler, carefully crafted noise meant to distract from the truth. The truth that Shedeur Sanders was healthy enough to compete, hungry enough to push, and ready to step into a role that might disrupt the entire balance of Cleveland's quarterback hierarchy. Stefanski's non-answers were more revealing than any statement he could have made. They showed fear, not of injury recurrence, but of what might happen if Shedeur actually got his shot. The Browns' coaching staff is standing at a crossroads, and they know it. The team sits at 3-5, a disappointing mark for a roster that was supposed to contend in a wide-open AFC. The offense looks flat, inconsistent, and painfully predictable. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the current starter, has struggled to command the field. Missed throws, bad reads, poor pocket decisions, it's all piling up. The fans can see it. The media can see it. Even the locker room can feel the uncertainty. Yet the coaching staff refuses to make a change. They talk about collective improvement, about execution, about staying the course. But what they're really doing is avoiding accountability. Naming Shedeur Sanders as the official QB2 would mean acknowledging that there's a better option waiting in the wings. It would mean inviting comparison. It would mean pressure. And that's exactly what Stefanski seems desperate to avoid. The situation reeks of politics, the kind that happen when a coaching staff's job security starts to depend on perception more than performance. Stefanski knows that if Shedeur steps on that field and lights it up, the narrative shifts overnight. The fans start chanting. The headlines start calling for a quarterback change. The locker room dynamics get messy. Suddenly, the focus isn't on the process anymore, it's on results. And if Shedeur succeeds, the question becomes obvious. Why wasn't he given this chance sooner? That's a question that could cost Stefanski his job. So what's the safer move? Keep Shedeur in limbo. Keep him limited in practice. Keep him out of sight and out of mind. Maintain control, even if it means stifling the growth of a young player who's done everything right. It's a cruel irony that Shedeur, the player being buried by this internal chess match, is also the one showing the most professionalism. He hasn't lashed out. He hasn't gone to the media. He hasn't made cryptic social posts or stirred controversy. Instead, he's done exactly what the Browns said they wanted. He's worked, quietly, relentlessly. He's studying film. He's putting in the hours. He's doing the rehab. And still he's being stonewalled by vague platitudes and evasive rhetoric. This isn't just unfair. It's wasteful. The Browns have a potential franchise quarterback in their building, a player with elite arm talent, pocket poise, and a football IQ beyond his years, and they're choosing fear over progress. They're prioritizing their comfort over competition. It's the kind of short-sighted thinking that can poison a team from the inside out. When Stefanski talks about putting players in the best position to succeed, it almost feels like a cruel joke. Because if that were true, Shedeur Sanders would be getting every opportunity to develop. Instead, he's trapped in a purgatory of uncertainty. Limited reps. No defined role. No clear path forward. How can a young quarterback grow when he's constantly kept on the sidelines of possibility? The Browns staff says they're being cautious, but caution has become a shield, a way to justify their refusal to confront the inevitable. It's not about health anymore. It's about control. And it's starting to show in every facet of their performance. Behind closed doors, the Browns organization must be feeling the tension build. The owner, Jimmy Haslam, is known for his impatience. The front office sees the numbers, the declining offensive efficiency, the empty seats, the growing fan frustration. Everyone can sense that change is coming, one way or another. The question is, will Stefanski let it happen on his terms or be forced into it by circumstance? because at some point the results will make the decision for him. If Dorian Thompson-Robinson continues to struggle, if the offense keeps sputtering, if the losses keep piling up, the pressure to play Shedeur Sanders will become unbearable. The fans will demand it. The media will echo it. The locker room will whisper it. And when that moment comes, no amount of vague coach speak will be enough to hold back the storm. The tragic part is that Shedeur's journey deserves better than this political circus. He's not just another rookie fighting for reps. He's a player carrying the weight of a name, a legacy, and a lifetime of expectations. From Colorado to Cleveland, he's faced doubt at every level. Analysts said he wouldn't adjust to pro-style systems, that his success was more about Deion Sanders' coaching than his own skill. But time and time again, he's proved them wrong. He learned the playbook faster than expected, earned respect from veterans, and displayed a maturity beyond his years. Now, when he's finally ready to take the next step, the people in charge are keeping him sidelined, not because he's unprepared, but because his success might expose their own failures. Cleveland's situation has become a mirror for the darker side of the NFL, where talent isn't always the deciding factor. Politics, pride, and fear often outweigh performance. Coaches cling to their systems, their hand-picked players, their reputations, even when the evidence screams for change. The Browns' offense doesn't need another week of evaluation. It needs a spark, a fresh perspective, a leader unafraid to take control of the field. And everything about Shedeur Sanders suggests he could be that guy if only given the chance. But as it stands, he remains a name on a depth chart, buried under layers of hesitation and ego. And maybe that's what makes this story so infuriating. It's not just about one player being benched. It's about a young man doing everything right and still being held back by a system designed to protect itself. It's about a team too afraid to take the risk that might save them. It's about wasted potential and misplaced loyalty. But if there's one thing history has shown us, it's that talent like Shedeur's can't be suppressed forever. The truth always finds its way to the surface, and when it does, Cleveland will have to answer for why it took so long. So as this saga unfolds, the question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders will get his shot, it's when. And when that moment comes, when he finally steps on that field, it might just change everything. Because sometimes, the player they're trying to hide ends up being the one they can't win without. Now, I want to hear what you think. Do you believe Kevin Stefanski is deliberately keeping Shedeur Sanders down to protect his own job? Or is this really just about playing it safe with a rookie coming off injury? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want more deep dives into stories the mainstream sports media won't touch, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown.